I want to quickly show you how to set up vertex colors inside of Blender that then you can bring into Unreal 5 so you can use them in your materials or on your meshes for whatever you need. When we come into Blender here, you see I have this cube set up, and I also have just subdivided it so we can kind of see what's happening. But when we have an object, what we really want to end up doing is inside of Blender is coming to this little green triangle called data. And once we're in that data folder area, what we want to do is we kind of come in here to color attributes, and we're going to click on the plus button. Once I click on that plus button, you're going to see it's going to come up and it's going to say color, vertex color, and it's going to be white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it, and I'm actually going to set it all the way down to black, and we're just going to add this. And at first, nothing's going to look like it happens, but if you actually come up here to this little preview thing and this little drop down arrow for shading, we go to attribute, we can actually see now that our attribute for vertex color has painted our mesh black. So I'm gonna come back up here and set this back to material. And now let's pick where we want our vertex coloring to go. Well, we have a couple different options. First and foremost, we need to switch into vertex painting mode. So if we come up this little tab up here, you can come down to vertex painting, and you'll see our mesh is completely black. And what I can do is I can actually just click with my mouse at default and just start painting. Now, the color that we paint with is actually this first of these two colors. Mine's currently set to red. It might be a different color for you, but I can come in here and set this to anything I want. Any color that I'm interested in. Now, sometimes that's a little bit too imprecise. So what I like to do is I like to go into the drop down up here, go back to edit mode, and then pick specific vertices that you want to paint. And then I'll just pick a few more just for demonstration. So now I've actually picked the vertices inside of edit mode. If I switch back to vertex painting mode, nothing really looks like it happens, but actually there's two tiny little buttons up here in the upper corner. The first one is vertex selection. So what this does is it actually will mask to whatever the vertices I had selected in edit mode, which is really handy. So now I don't have to just kind of like aimlessly paint and hope I get it right. Once I have this masking thing set for the vertices, what I can do is I can click on paint right here and then set vertex colors. As soon as I click on this, it's going to set whatever color I have selected over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be a little bit more precise. I'm going to go to color, and for example, I'm actually going to set this to, I'm going to pull this down to black, and then I'm going to go RGB, and I'm going to set just the red channel to 1. So this will make sure there's no color in the green and the blue channel. And then I'm going to set the vertex color, and now you can see I have these red kind of illuminated vertexes. Now that we're done with that, I'm going to go back to object mode, and you'll see my object switches back off. So now if I go to file and I export this file as an FBX, only thing I'm going to make sure is selected. I usually for Unreal like to make sure that geometry smoothing for face is on, and I turn off animations. So I'm just going to keep this named untitled. It's not that important. I'm going to go inside of an Unreal scene here, and I'm just going to import that model. So I'm going to right click in my content browser, import to game, find my mesh. And one thing that's important is, depending on the version of Unreal you have, we want to make sure that those vertex colors actually get imported. And this is kind of a weird naming convention because it's actually kind of odd, but when we scroll down under common mesh options, we can see we have vertex color import options. We want to make sure this is set to replace. In some older versions of Unreal, this was set to ignore. So just make sure this is set to replace. This is basically saying, please use the vertex colors that I'm importing. Do not change them. Even it seems odd though. So once we've done that, we're going to import it, and nothing fancy is going to feel like it's actually happened to our mesh. It's kind of, I noticed, I think in this version of Unreal, there's actually a glitch, because usually you can come to show vertex color and it should show up here, but I think there may be an issue with Unreal with Lumen. So if we want to test this out, an easy, fast way would be just to right click and create a material. And I'm just going to name this test. And in our material here, what we want to end up doing is right clicking and type in vertex color. So now we have a vertex color, and I'm just going to hold down the 3 key while I click to create a constant 3 vector. And I'm going to hold down M and click to make a multiply. And we're going to multiply the red color, anything that was red, by this color. And I'm just going to set a, purple in here. So we're using the red color from the vertex color to mask this color. And anything that isn't red should be black, and everything that should be this purple color. So if I apply this material, and then I come back in here, and I take my mesh, and if I apply this test material to it, and then close this, make this big again, what I should end up having is a mesh that is now using those vertex colors inside of Unreal on top of my mesh. Hopefully this kind of explains the process of how you can get vertex colors out of Blender and into Unreal. If you found this helpful, just leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.